Liam almost didn't go. It was a small house party in his neighborhood, the kind someone posts about in a group chat, with a vague address and a bring friends message. He didn't recognize most of the names going, but it was a Friday night, and the house was nearby. When he arrived, the place already felt strange. The music was low, too low for a party. Conversations were quiet and scattered, and no one seemed drunk or even excited to be there. People stood in clusters, watching each other more than they talked. Still, nothing was outright wrong, just uncomfortable. Liam texted his friend, who had invited him, "Where are you?" No response. As the night went on, more people arrived, but fewer were around. Liam noticed doors throughout the house that were closed, when they shouldn't be. Bedrooms, closets, even the basement door, which had a heavy lock on it, from the outside. At one point, he stepped into the kitchen for a drink and realized the house felt emptier than it had 10 minutes earlier. Someone brushed past him. "Did you see the host?" Liam asked. The guy didn't answer. He just stared at Liam for a second too long, then walked away. That's when Liam noticed the windows. Every curtain had been shut. He checked his phone. No signal. The music cut off suddenly. The house fell silent. A voice came over a speaker system, calm and almost cheerful. "Thanks for coming. Please stay where you are." Panic rippled through the house. People rushed for the front door, only to find it locked. Someone screamed from upstairs. Another scream followed from the basement. Liam ran toward the back of the house, forcing open a side door and sprinting into the cold night air. He didn't stop running until he reached his own street. He didn't tell anyone what happened. The next morning, the house was empty. Police reports said there was no sign of a party, no forced entry, no missing persons. Weeks later, Liam noticed something taped to his apartment door. A flyer. Same address, same vague message. "Party tonight. You're already on the list." Below it was a photo, taken from across the street, of Liam standing in his kitchen, staring at the door. The timestamp was for later that night. And at the bottom, written in pen, "You left early last time." According to a police report filed late one winter night, a man named Aaron ordered a rideshare home after finishing a closing shift downtown. It was snowing lightly, the kind that made the streets quiet and empty. When the car arrived, Aaron got in the back seat and gave his address. The driver barely spoke. No music played, no radio chatter, just the soft hum of the engine and tires cutting through slush. Aaron didn't think much of it. He was exhausted and ready to be home. About 5 minutes into the ride, he noticed the driver checking the rear-view mirror, not casually, repeatedly, every few seconds. Aaron shifted in his seat. Each time he moved, the driver's eyes snapped back to the road, like he'd been caught staring. Then Aaron's phone vibrated. "Unknown number. You should keep your seatbelt on." Aaron frowned. He already was. He looked up at the mirror again. The driver's face had gone pale. "Everything all right?" Aaron asked. The driver didn't respond. His jaw trembled slightly, as if he was trying to steady his breathing. Another message came through. "Don't lean forward." He notices that. Aaron's heart started to race. "Hey," he said louder now. "What's wrong with you?" The driver finally spoke, barely above a whisper. "You didn't get in alone." Silence filled the car. "What are you talking about?" Aaron said. The driver swallowed. "Someone opened the door with you. I felt the car shift." Aaron slowly turned his head toward the empty seat beside him. Nothing was there, but the air felt wrong, heavy, cold, like standing inches from someone in a dark room. His phone buzzed again. He doesn't like being looked at. The driver suddenly slammed the brakes. He pulled over beneath a flickering streetlight. He threw the car into park, ripped off his seatbelt, and bolted out into the snow, screaming for help. As he ran down the street, Aaron was alone. At least he thought he was. Then the seat beside him slowly sank down, as if someone had just sat. The car doors locked. Aaron's breathing turned frantic. He tried the handle. It wouldn't budge. His phone lit up one last time. He rides until someone notices. The engine turned back on. The gears shifted into drive. From outside, traffic cameras later showed the car, pulling away smoothly, no driver visible in the front seat. The vehicle was found the next morning, abandoned at the edge of the city. Aaron was never located. Inside the back seat, police found frost forming in the shape of fingerprints. And on the dashboard screen, one final rideshare request was already queued. Pickup confirmed, passenger silent. When Mark moved into the apartment, it felt like a steal. Cheap rent, quiet building, no roommates. The landlord explained that the unit had once been divided, but was fully renovated years ago. Mark didn't question it. The place felt normal enough. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. Then he started noticing sounds. Soft footsteps late at night. Not loud enough to panic him, just enough to wake him up. He assumed it was the neighbors. Old buildings made noise. Pipes creaked, floors settled. But the sounds always came from the same wall. One night, while cleaning, Mark noticed something strange behind his wardrobe. A thin outline in the wall, perfectly rectangular, like a door that had been painted over. He laughed it off at first. Probably an old closet from before the renovation. Still, curiosity got the better of him. He pressed against it. It moved. Behind the wardrobe was a narrow door, barely visible, sealed shut with layers of paint. No handle, no lock, just a thin crack along the edge. Mark didn't open it. That night, he slept with the lights on. The next morning, he noticed something new on his kitchen counter. A sticky note. You looked for it too early. His stomach dropped. Over the next few days, the notes continued. Always short, always specific. You leave at 8:12. You don't close the bathroom window all the way. You sleep facing the wall. Mark checked his locks obsessively. He even stayed home from work one day, sitting silently in his living room, listening. That's when he heard breathing. It wasn't coming from his apartment. It was coming from inside the wall. Terrified, Mark called his landlord, demanding answers. The man went silent on the phone for a long moment, before finally admitting the truth. There was another room, an access space left over from the building's original layout. It wasn't listed, it wasn't rented, and officially, it didn't exist. When maintenance arrived with police, they broke through the painted door. Inside was a narrow room running alongside Mark's apartment. Bare concrete, a mattress on the floor, food wrappers, empty bottles, and a wall covered in photographs. Photos of Mark sleeping, cooking, standing in front of the mirror. There were dates written beside them, future dates. One photo was circled in red. It showed Mark standing in his kitchen, holding a knife. That photo was dated tomorrow. They never found the person who lived in the room. Mark moved out the same day. The landlord sealed the wall again, and the apartment was listed online as recently renovated.
In a quiet apartment building downtown, there was a man who lived across the hall from Emma. She never really noticed him at first, just a quiet neighbor who left early in the morning. He came back late at night, but over time she started to feel like he was always watching. Not in a casual, neighborly way, but like he knew exactly when she was home. When she left, even when she was just standing at her window. At first, Emma shrugged it off. Old buildings have thin walls after all. But then, small things started happening. One evening, she came home from work. She noticed a single envelope slipped under her door. Inside was a printed photograph of her walking through the lobby earlier that day. No note, no signature, just her, caught in the act of doing something entirely normal. The next night, she found another envelope. This one contained a scribbled note. "Don't forget to lock your door tonight." At first, she thought it was a prank, maybe a kid from the building messing around. But the instructions were always too specific, too accurate, and the photographs kept coming. Every day, every night, the man was one step ahead. Emma decided to confront him. She pressed her face against her peephole just enough to see into his apartment. His blinds were always partially open, a faint light glowing inside. And there he was, sitting at his desk, staring directly at her. He didn't flinch. He didn't look away. He was waiting. A week passed and the notes escalated. They stopped being warnings about small things and started becoming more sinister. "Tonight, don't answer the phone. Turn off all the lights, he's watching." It was then that Emma realized the man wasn't just observing her. He was predicting events. That hadn't even happened yet. She tried to leave the apartment to escape, but every hallway, every stairwell felt like it led back to him. One night, a knock came at her door. She froze. Her heart raced. Through the crack in the door, she saw a note taped there. "You did it. You know what to do." Emma never opened the door. She called the police, but by the time they arrived, the envelope was gone. There was no sign of forced entry, no evidence, nothing. But the next morning, she found another photograph in her mailbox. This one was different. It showed her standing outside her building, staring straight at the man's window. And in the background, a dark figure lurked, just barely visible behind her, a shadow she had never noticed before. Emma moved out the next day. She never saw the man again. But every now and then, when she passes a quiet apartment building, she swears she sees someone at a window watching, waiting, leaving clues for a crime that hasn't yet been committed.